Mark, tell me what's the best thing about working with Chaka?
Good.
I think Shaka's personality is the best thing about working with Shaka. Her energy is incredible. So when you're feeling at your lowest ebb at certain times, tired in this industry, this little ray of sunshine bursts into your life with an enormous amount of energy, and you just can't help but feel it, I think. So every time I'm kind of tired, you've been shooting or you've had a little bit of a tricky review, that every time Shaka comes bounding up to you and goes, "Don't worry about it, Dolly, it's all going to be all right," then obviously that peps you up.
Have you always been like that, Chaka? So you
Irritatingly
radiate positivity.
I have been annoyingly upbeat ever since I was a kid. Yeah, I remember Danny Baker saying the same thing. It's quite annoying being a bit Pollyanna. So hopefully not too much. But yeah, generally speaking, I wake up and I feel pretty happy and I feel pretty good. But also you have to be around amazing people who bring that out of you. So I feel very lucky. I feel pretty bouncy most days.
You are bouncy.
Yeah, bless you.
She must have some bad points though. Are there any annoying habits about Shaka that you like?
It's really no. She doesn't have any annoying qualities actually. It's quite weird. So because we started our relationship in lockdown and we went for walks every week, you know, regardless of the rules, which you can't say because we'll probably end up being crushed. But we kind of ironed a lot of that stuff out quite early doors, didn't we? When we're very, very similar characters. I am bouncy as well, so both of us being extrovert, I think then you don't have that clash as much as you would if I was very introverted. You'd be like, "Oh, come on then."
Agree.
And I think that's probably why. No, it's nothing really annoying.
No, I think we care about the same
At the
things,
moment.
which fundamentally is people and work. So the work, sorry, not work as a concept. And I think that's the most important thing. So when your values, without sounding all sort of schmaltzy, I think when your values are the same. And to Marky's point, actually, I think it's really good in terms of what you said about the pandemic, because it's a weird way to get to know someone.
Yeah.
And our walks were for hours. Do you remember that? Hours and hours. We used to just literally, and we had a code which was like, if we got stopped, we feel really like we're a couple. We're in a bubble, and we were kind of in a bubble, to be honest. But we did it every single week. We didn't have a Zoom relationship, so the beginning of our relationship was always in person, and it was very intimate because it was just the two of us. So we literally nutted out a whole bunch of stuff, and then whilst we had to talk to everyone else on Zoom, and then occasionally we'd get the crew together when we were allowed to because of the rules and all the rest of it. Always in the park. It's so sweet. Everyone came to Hyde Park, so lovely. Literally schlepped it from bloody Dulwich or whatever. He was living quite close to me as well at the time, which was super, super helpful.
Putney.
So in Putney. So he'd come over the river and then we'd go for booze. You played like
Go to the Bluebird and hang out like all good advertising
all
folks should.
under the guise of work and sit and talk for hours.
You're right about the values. It's very rare that I second guess you wrong, and I think that's probably the right way, the other way around as well.
100%.
You know, we're very simpatico on those kind of things, and I think that is because our value system's right, and our feeling around work is right as well. Actually, we're very similar characters in what we like. Work-wise, I think.
Yeah,
so,
and making it accessible. And sort of big and populist.
So continuing that theme, tell me what's really special about the OpenX approach to creativity.
So where do I start? I think what's special about Leo's approach, or this sort of whole concept, not concept, but sort of we call it populist creativity, is about sort of being unashamedly proud and driven by making work for as many people as possible. To make as many people as possible feel something, and that doesn't mean it doesn't have personalization in it. It absolutely does, but it's never going to be forsaken for talking to as many people as possible. And a real understanding, I think, and being driven by the fact that we think the hardest thing in the world. And it doesn't mean you don't understand audiences, and it doesn't mean you dilute your creativity or dilute your ideas. Far from it. It's sort of the holy grail. To be able to create something that makes a large number of people feel something. And we have a lot of conversations around sort of like, you know, the basis of art and commerce and where the two collide. And the fact is, even the most sort of prestigious artists, they don't want to create work in a bubble. They don't want to create work just for themselves. They want to create, if you're a musician, you want to create it for your, for your fans. If you're a filmmaker, you want as many people to see your film. If you're, you make television, whatever it is, even art. And that's what we sort of apply to advertising in whatever guise it is. It's not about a specific channel, it's not about film or out of home, whatever. That's, oh my God, it's so difficult, but it's such, it's such an insane feeling when it hits and when you hear it back and people start talking about it, like properly talking about it, and people recognise stuff and your mates recognise stuff that have got nothing to do with the industry. That's when you know you're doing something hopefully right. As long as they like it. If they don't like it, then that's a bit of a problem.
Yeah, but you put it nicely around, we don't advertise to the village. We advertise to the UK or to Europe, wherever we're talking to consumers. People do advertise to the village. You can't get away from it in that way. Adland's very powerful pull. If you want to do that, it's fine by us, but we just prefer not to. And I think that's always in the back of my head when I'm reading work, and I know it's the same for you. It's when you think about something like Welcome Back, coming out of the pandemic and hitting that sweet spot of Mark Morrison, the back opening of McDonald's, it just channeled a feeling that the nation really enjoyed, and that's what the feedback on social media was. And picking the track from social media was fantastic. So listening to the UK as well when McDonald's reopened, so that kind of feeling is the sweet spot, I think.
100%.
Just to finish, is there any piece of advice that you've been given in your career, that a kind of piece of creative advice that you could share with somebody that maybe would love to be sitting where you're sitting now in a few years' time?
There's been so much advice that I've been given and continue to be given and need to be given every single day of my life to remember and to follow. I think there are some basics which people will tell you, and then some things I think people tell you, and there's sort of things that you've heard for the first time, and there are other things I think that you feel quite instinctively. So I think obviously the things around constantly be curious, but I think that's a state of grace. I think you sort of feel that, hopefully. I think the best creatives do. About creativity in all of its different guises, whatever the hell it is. I think listening, I think that's the biggest thing. And it's something that a very, very smart person told me when I was in my 20s. And I don't think I did listen particularly well, because I always had an opinion and I wanted to jump in with an opinion. I probably still do to some point, but it's so much more powerful. One, it empowers everyone to have a voice. But also you listen to people who are smarter than you, and you can pick out certain things, and it can, just those little nuggets can change an idea and make it 1,000 times better. Surround yourself by great people, the most important thing.
You're welcome.
Thanks so much. No, which is just incredibly important, and sort of find your tribe, which sounds trite, but it's not. It really, really is important. I don't think you can be at your best unless you're with the family that you need to be with, and sometimes that's out of sync and out of schism, and you don't have to stay where you are. You need to go find your people, because they are there, and everyone's got their tribe. Lots of different ones out there, and they're all equally as good. But yeah, that's it in a nutshell.
It's goody. I think patience as well. I was thinking about this on the way in this today. The generation coming up below, us, or us helping to feed and grow that new generation.
Can I do that? Sorry, you've got my hair on your chin. Notice, sorry.
Patience is a kind of thing that it takes a long time to get good at this industry, and I think some people, and some of our younger generations, they make one thing, and they kind of then think they've done it, and they think they're kind of there, and they should be promoted, or they should get more money, or they should be, you've got to just keep doing it. You've got to be consistent and consistently good at all times, and that takes patience. And also, with clients as well, you might make something good that then starts to lead to something great. That trust in the relationship takes patience, and it's patience from a management team like us, building and growing our clients, and our staff and creativity coming along with that journey is something that's important. So I think patience is something to remember. It took me a long time to get senior in this industry, if you look at it like that. So I think that's a good thing too.
That's brilliant advice. Thank you both so much.
Thank you, Madame Spielberg, for your wonderful filmmaking.